Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Sya Gyananjana Shalakam Shri Guru Shri Chaitanya Manubhishtam Sthapitam Yen Swayam Bhuttam Dadati Swapadam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadakam Shri Guru Vaishnavam Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagam Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savaduntam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahaganam Krishna Vishnu He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namaste Kapta Kanchana Gaurandi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhascha Kripa Sindhya Eva Chapatitādāṁ Bhavanti Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Sadguru Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna Vistavitri Prabhupada Priya Shigiri Rajana Swami Sudhakara Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Vistavitri Shmate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namaste Saraswati Devi Bhagavani Mukham Karoti Vācālam Paham Vandayate Guru Shri Guru Dinataram Hare Krishna. So we continue our reading of Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, chapter 4. We are on text 18. So this is the festival, the installation of Shri Gopal, our beautiful Gopalji. So he was Ekadinera Udiyuge Eche Mahatsava Kaila Gopala Prabhavik Pai Anye Na Janila. The wonderful festival and installation of Shri Gopalji was arranged in one day. Certainly all this was accomplished by the potency of Gopal. No one but a devotee can understand this. Achamanadiya Dila Vittakat Sanchaya Arati Karila Loke Kare Jaya Jai. Sri Madhavendra Puri offered water to Gopal for washing his mouth, and he gave him betel nuts to chew. Then while Arati was performed, all the people chanted, Jai Jai, all glories to Gopal. Shaya Karailan Tanat Ate Anana Navasrani Tare Upare Patiya. Arranging for the Lord's rest, Sri Madhavendra Puri brought a new cot, and over this he spread a new bedspread, and then made the bed ready. His all deity worship, his step-by-step deity worship has been described here. Trinatati Diyachari Dik Avarila Uparete Katati Diya Achadiya. A temporary temple was constructed by covering the bed all around with a straw mattress. Thus there was a bed and a straw mattress to cover it. Puri Gosani Agyadi Sakala Abala Vrida Granera Lopakara Ujane. After the Lord was laid down to rest on the bed, Madhavendra Puri gathered all the brahmanas who had prepared the prasadam and said to them, now feed everyone sumptuously, from the children on up to the aged, abala vridha. So everybody's part of the festival, right? Everybody participated in it. Everybody brought something. They brought ingredients, then the brahmanas cooked. And then they had a whole festival of bhoga, offering arti, the Achaman wash our Gopalji's lotus mouth. And they put him to sleep, right? He went to rest. And then say, now give out the prasadam to everyone. Sabevasi krame krame bhojana karila. Brahmana brahmani gane age khai khai. All the people gathered there, sat down to honor the prasadam. And by they took prasadam, meaning that all the brahmanas and their wives were fed first. So everybody was sitting, I guess, in rows the way we do in our temples. According to the Varnashram system, the brahmanas are always honored first. Thus, at the festival, the brahmanas and their wives were first offered the always been the system, and it is still prevalent in India, even though the caste brahmanas are not qualified. The system is still current due to the Varnashram institutional rules and regulations that Prabhupada put in. The brahmanas are not qualified, but this is a system, right? So they have to sit down first, you have to feed them, and then everybody else. Anya gramera lokayata dekhite aila, Gopala dikhiya saba prasada khaila. Those who took prasadam included not only the people of Govardhan village, but also those who came from other villages. They also saw the deity of Gopal and were offered prasadam to eat. So they came for darshan, right? And I'm sure they brought everything from home. Dekhiya purira prabhave loke chamatkar. Purva anaputayena kaila sakshatkar. Seeing the influence of Madhavendra Puri, all the people gathered there were struck with wonder. They saw that an Anaput ceremony, which had been performed before during the time of Krishna, was now taking place again by the mercy of Sri Madhavendra Puri. Formerly, at the end of Dwapar Yuga, all the cowherd men of Vrindavan had arranged to worship King Indra. But they gave up this worship up, following the advice of Krishna. Instead, they performed a ceremony whereby they worshipped the cows, brahmanas, and Govardhan Hill. At that time, Krishna expanded himself and declared, I am Govardhan Hill. In this way, he accepted all the paraphernalia and food offered to Govardhan Hill. It is stated in the Srimad Bhagavatam 10.24-26. Panchantam vividha paka supantaha payasadayah samyava upasashkulyah sarvadohascha grihatam kalatmana bhagavata shakra darpam chikram shata uktam nishamya mandadya sadva grinanta तथा च व्यदधु सर्वं यथा मधुसूदनः आचयित्वा स्वस्त्यायन्नं तद्द्रव्येण गिरिविजाम् उपारित्य बलिं सर्वान् आदृताय वसङ्गवान् Namaskritya Girim Chakru Pradakshinam. Prepare very nice foods of all descriptions from the grains and ghee collected for the yajna. Prepare rice, dal, then halwa, pakora, puri, and all kinds of milk preparation like sweet rice, sweet balls, sandesh, rasgulla, and laddu. The Supreme Personality Godhead, Krishna, therefore advised the cowherdmen to stop the Indra Yagya and begin the Govardhan Puja to chastise Indra, who was very much puffed up at being the supreme controller of the heavenly planets. The honest and simple cowherd man, headed by Nanda Maharaj, accepted Krishna's proposal and executed in detail everything he advised. They performed Govardhan worship and circumambulation of the hill according to the instructions of Lord Krishna. Maybe he was just a boy, 7 years old, but according to the instruction of Lord Krishna, our Kanha said, right? Nanda Maharaj and the cowherd men called in learned Brahmanas and began to worship Govardhan hill by chanting Vedic hymns and offering prasadam. The inhabitants of Vrindavan assembled together, decorated their cows and gave them grass. Keeping the cows in front, they began to circumambulate Govardhan hill. So this is our description. Sakala Brahmane Puri Vaishnava Karina Se Seva Madhya Savani Yojila. All the Brahmanas present on that occasion were initiated by Sri Madhavendra Puri into the Vaishnava cult, and Madhavendra Puri engaged them in different types of service. In the scriptures it is stated, Shak Karma Nipuno Vipro Mantra Tantra Visharadaha. A qualified Brahmana must be expert in the occupational duties of a Brahmana. His duties are mentioned as 6 Brahminical engagements. So now, all of us, let us note here in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, chapter 4, text 87, duties of a Brahmana. All right, let's make a note so that if we want to be Brahmana, then we should know what are our duties. So 6. Pathan means that a Brahmana must be conversant with the Vedic scriptures. We should be learning. He must also be able to teach others to study the Vedic literature. This is Pathan. So Pathan, meaning himself or herself, should be reading. And then Pathan, we should be able to explain to others. He's also expert in worshipping different deities and in performing the Vedic rituals. Yajna. Yajna. On account of this yajna, the Brahmana, being the head of society, performs all the Vedic rituals for Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras. So that's how we all do, right? When there is, marriage, death, etc., before the Brahmanas. But that Brahmana should also be learned. This is called yajana, assisting others in performing ceremonies. The remaining 2 items are dana and pratigraha. The Brahmana accepts all kinds of contributions, pratigraha, from his followers, namely the Kshatriyas, Vaishya, and Shudras. But he doesn't keep all the money. He keeps only as much as required and gives the balance to others in charity. So pratigraha, so he has to accept, others are giving, he accepts, and what is extra, he distributes. In order for such a qualified Brahmana to worship the deity, he must be a Vaishnava. Thus, the Vaishnava's position is superior to that of the Brahmana. This example given by Madhavendra Puri confirmed that Even though a Brahmana may be very expert, he cannot become a priest or servitor of the Vishnu Murti unless he's initiated in Vaishnava mantra. Did we follow the difference? No? So the Brahmanas, they could do all the Vedic rituals, right? They could do the rituals for, marriage, etc., of the other classes of people, but they could not do what?
Deity worship they can't do.
Deity worship.
Vishnu Murti.
They couldn't do the deity worship, all right, of Vishnu. So they will install this Durga Puja, this Puja, so many things are happening. So these Brahmanas will do everything. But unless they are initiated in Vaishnava mantra, they are not allowed to do this Vishnu Murti Puja. After installing the deity of Gopal, Madhavendra Puri initiated all the Brahmanas into Vaishnavism. He then allotted the Brahmanas different types of service to the deity. From 4 in the morning until 10 at night, from Mangal Arati to Shayan Arati, there must be at least 5 or 6 Brahmanas to take care of the deity. All right. Meaning how many Brahmanas, all of us who are doing deity worship. So we know. So Prabhupada has set up this system in all his temples. So we start 4 o'clock in the morning, actually before 4 o'clock, 3:45 we start. And till 10 o'clock here in the temple, they put the deity, rest, everything, 10 o'clock, right? Mangalarti to Shayanarti. There must be at least 5 or 6 Brahmanas to take care of the deity. 6 aratis are performed in the temple. And food is frequently offered to the deity and the prasadam distributed. This is the method of worshipping the deity according to the rules and regulations set by the predecessors. Our sampradaya belongs to the disciplic succession of Madhavendra Puri, who belong to the Madhava Sampradaya. We are in the disciplic succession of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who was initiated by Sri Ishwara Puri, a disciple of Madhavendra Puri. Our sampradaya is therefore called the Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. As such, we must carefully follow in the footsteps of Sri Madhavendra Puri and observe how he installed the Gopal deity on top of Govardhan Hill, how he arranged and performed the Anakut ceremony in only one day, and so forth. Our installation of deities in America and in the wealthy countries of Europe should be carried out in terms of Sri Madhavendra Puri's activities. All the servitors of the deity must be strictly qualified as Brahmanas and specifically must engage in the Vaishnava custom of offering as much prasadam as possible and distributing it to the devotees who visit the temple to see the Lord. So I think that this question keep on coming up about, if I can cook for the deity, I'm not initiated. So can I cook for the deity or do? So now you can see it. What's the answer?
No, until and unless you get Vaishnav mantra.
Yes. Right. So this question shouldn't be asked again. It's written as a law, right? This is Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya lila, chapter 4, text 87. Everybody who worship the deities, only Vaishnav initiated, you must be a Brahmana, right? Brahman Dikshit, right? So they are Vaishnava plus they are Brahmanas, so they can worship the deities. So even if you are like a ordinary Brahmana, you're doing all the rituals for the householders, but to worship the deity, you must have Vaishnava mantra. Punadina Shesha Prabhura Karaila Uthana Kichu Bhoga Lagaila Karaila Jalapan. After taking rest, the deity must be awakened at the end of the day. And immediately, some food and some water must be offered to him. You know, he gets up from sleep. Mumita, right? Mangal sweet, right? 6 types of sweets is offered. This offering is called Vaikali Bhog, food offered at the end of the day. Gopala Prakata Haila Desha Shabda Haila Ashapashagramera Loka Dekite Aila. When it was advertised, okay, advertised. Shabda Haila, news. Shabda. Shabda Haila, the news spread, advertise. Prabhupada is using a modern language, right? When it was advertised throughout the country that Lord Gopal had appeared at top Govardhan Hill, all the people from neighboring villages came to see the deity. I mean, it's the joy of their life, right? Right? Joy of their life. As soon as a temple comes up, lakh and lakh and lakh of people come to take darshan. Ekeka dina, ekeka grame, Laila magina, anaputa kare sabe, harasita hana. One village after another was pleased to beg Madhavendra Puri to allot them one day to perform the Anaput ceremony. Thus, day after day, the Anaput ceremony was performed for some time. So the villagers, everybody do. Actually, we see this in Mauritius. You know, like I think every month, one congregation group will come and say, okay, today is my day for cooking. And so it's either a Vyas Puja or a Tirobhav or some festival or something. They will come together. This group will come, meaning A to Z, meaning the sponsoring. They will bring all the ingredients. They will sit down. They will do all the peeling, cooking, washing, and serving. It's so wonderful. When Mauritius is like a tiny India. But in Bombay, you don't see it, right? You don't see it. Unfortunately, you just see them for prasadam. You don't see them running in the kitchen and cooking and doing everything and serving others, right? But this is what's described here. This is tradition. Village after village, they say, give me a chance, my turn, my turn. But one thing they do in Bombay, they donate. Right? They donate. So, for whatever reason, so they donate. So it's okay, but it's rasa is not same. Rasa coming together, you see how they're so happy, they just come together. We want to do it. And not one item, a complete feast. They will put. Ratri kale thakurera karila shayana purikasani kaila kichu gavya bhojana. Sri Madhavendra Puri did not eat anything throughout the day, but at night, after laying the deity down to rest, he took a milk preparation, so he was so absorbed. He was only serving the deity and the devotees. He didn't eat anything throughout the day. Prattah kale puna taiche karila sevana analana ekagramera aila loka gana. The next morning, the rendering of service to the deity began again, and people from one village arrived with all kinds of food grains. Anagrita dadhi dugdha grame yatachila gopalera age loka anya dharila. Yeah, in Bombay they do catering, right? Instead of getting in the kitchen themselves and cooking, right? You say Guru Maharaj Vyas Puja, who will do the catering? Instead of all disciples getting together and cooking. So here example is given. Anagrita Dadhi Dugdha Gramegata China. Correct. Ras Bihari's bell is saying. Correct. Kupalera Aginuka Aniya Dharila. The inhabitants of the village brought to the deity of Gopala as much food grains, ghee, yogurt, and milk as they had in their village. Anna, Grita, Dadhi, and Dugdha of food grains, ghee, yogurt, and milk. Actually, these are the basis of all food. Vegetables and fruits are subsidiary. Hundreds and thousands of preparations can be made out of grains, vegetable, ghee, milk, and yogurt. The food offered to Gopala in the Anakut ceremony contain only these 5 ingredients. Only demoniac people are attracted to other types of food, which we will not even mention in this connection, this sacred Prabhupada's lila, this Chaitanya Charitamrita. We should understand that in order to prepare nutritious food, we require only grains, ghee, yogurt, and milk. We cannot offer anything else to the deity, the Vaishnava, the perfect human being. Narottama, the perfect human being, does not accept anything not offered to the deity. So we have to make our checklist, right? We have to make our checklist. So am I eating things that's not offered, right, to the deity? The Vaishnava, the perfect human being, because he's a perfect human being, doesn't accept anything not offered to the deity. People are often frustrated with the national food policies. I don't know what is that. But from the Vedic scriptures, we find that if there are sufficient cows and grains, the entire food problem is solved. The Vaishyas, people engaged in agriculture and commerce, are therefore recommended in the Bhagavad Gita to produce grains and give protection to cows. Cows are the most important animal because they produce the miracle food milk from which we can prepare ghee and yogurt. The perfection of human civilization depends on Krishna consciousness, which recommends deity worship. Now we know why there's deity worship. Why? Why?
Perfection of human civilization, as Prabhupada is writing here. It's a key part of Krishna consciousness.
Is deity worship. Because you have to eat. Right? You have to eat. So if you have to eat and you want to be a perfect human being, then you eat only what?
Prasad. Prasad.
Just see how
Grain.
what is it? Amrita, Radhe?
Mataji Prabhupada is saying that all you need is grain, fruit, vegetables, milk, and yogurt.
So, okay.
Then that is offered to the deity. And then, like Madhavendra Puri did, he prepared, offered to the deity, and then distributed it to everyone. So that's how the government should do it. We cook healthy meals, offer to Krishna, and distribute. This is what I understood.
So people are often frustrated by national food policies. I don't know what is this. Indira Radha, do you know what is this? National food policies? I don't know those who are, I don't know what it is. The perfection of human civilization depends on Krishna consciousness, which recommends deity worship. Preparation made from vegetables, grains, milk, ghee, and yogurt are offered to the deity and then distributed. Here we can see the difference between the East and the West. The people who came to see the deity of Gopal brought all kinds of food to offer the deity. They brought all the food they had in stock. And they came before the deity not only to accept prasadam for themselves, but to distribute it to others. Well, I just described this, right? I just described it. You know how I saw a tiny little Mauritius, you know? They do this regularly. It's just a culture. Hmm? So they cook and they sit this, they offer it, and they didn't sit and eat, right? They what's the pleasure? The pleasure is to distribute. The Krishna consciousness movement vigorously approved this practice of preparing food, offering it to the deity, and distributing it to the general population. This activity should be extended universally to stop sinful eating habits as well as other behavior befitting only demons. A demonic civilization will never bring peace within the world, since eating is the first necessity in human society. Those engaged in solving the problems of preparing and distributing food should take lessons from Madhavendra Puri and execute the Anakut ceremony. When the people came to eating only prasadam offered to the deity, all the demons will be turned into Vaishnavas. When the people are Krishna conscious, naturally the government will be so also. A Krishna conscious man is always a very liberal well-wisher of everyone. When such men head the government, all the people will certainly be sinless. They will no longer be disturbing demons. It is then and then only that a peaceful condition can prevail in society. So you see the importance of food, prasadam, right? And see, meaning there's no hunger. There's no hunger, right? Because this is a free distribution. Villages are coming, one after the other. Villages are coming, and they are cooking and distributing prasadam, meaning it's an open prasadam, you know. I was in Vrindavan. So there was this girl, you know, they are maids. So she got married from Vrindavan into another village. And I don't know what happened there. And she came back to Vrindavan. I don't know whether her husband came with her or whatever. So she came here, and then she told me, she said that in her village, in her family's house, sometime there was no food. Right? There was no food. I mean, it broke my heart to hear this. I don't even want to think about all this. She said, since I came to Vrindavan, we are having food full. Why? Because in Vrindavan, everybody is doing anakut. So she told her husband, what are you doing there? You're fighting, you know, just for a living, right? We are here. There is not a single day that I went to bed without food. Because of this system. This system, right? So meaning that if in every village, everybody has a temple, right? Like Gopalji, because of Gopalji, they are coming and doing all the anakut, right? Therefore, it means that village to village, at least, you know, every 4 or 5 days, anakut will happen, right? And people don't have to be hungry. They don't have to become thieves. You see, food is a primary necessity. When they don't have food, what will they do? They become thieves. So those of you who have capacity, you know, should do this in the villages. Bombay is overflowing with money. But do it in the villages. As Prabhupada is saying that by giving this prasad, this solves the problems of preparing and distributing food. You just have a deity. Because of the deity, there's plenty of prasadam. right? Just because of the deity. Because everybody wants to bring to one point, isn't it? So everybody come and take prasadam. Puravadina praya vipra karila randhana. Techena putta gopala karila bhojana. The next day, almost as before, there was an anaput ceremony. All the brahmanas prepared foods and Gopal accepted them. In other words, Gopal is feeding everybody, right? So if in every village, Gopal is there, right? He will make sure that everybody is fed, no food problem. We saw how from Bala to Vriddha, the system also, they fed the brahmanas first and then they offered to everybody. Vrajavasi lokera Krishna sahaja piriti, Gopalera sahaja priti Vrajavasi prati. The ideal place to execute Krishna consciousness is Vrajabhumi of Vrindavan, where the people are naturally inclined to love Krishna and Krishna is naturally inclined to love them. Krishna is naturally inclined, so it's not one way, right? You love Krishna and you know he's indifferent, right? No, you be heartbroken, right? You're giving, and you know, zero from his side, right? In the Bhagavad Gita 4.11, it is said, Ye yatha mam prapadyante tams tathaiva bhajami aham. There is a responsive cooperation between the Supreme Lord Krishna and his devotees. The more a devotee sincerely loves Krishna, the more Krishna reciprocates. So much so that a highly advanced devotee can talk with Krishna face to face. Krishna confirmed this in the Bhagavad Gita 10.10. Tesham satatam yuktanam bhajatam pritipurvakam tadami buddhi yogam tam yenamam payanti. To those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. The actual mission of human life is to understand Krishna and return home back to Godhead. Therefore, one who is sincerely engaged in the service of the Lord with love and faith can talk with Krishna and receive instructions by which he can speedily return home back to Godhead. Today, many scholars defend the science of religion, and they have some conception of the Supreme Person Godhead. But religion without practical experience of the Supreme Person Godhead is no religion at all. Srimad Bhagavatam describes this as a form of cheating. Religion means abiding by the orders of Krishna, the Supreme Person Godhead. If one is not qualified to talk with him and take lessons from him, how can he understand the principles of religion? Thus, talks of religion or religious experience without Krishna consciousness is a useless waste of thought. Priti, what did you hear now? Tell me.
Sorry, Mataji.
What did you hear?
Mataji, yeah, it's saying that if you're speaking about religion and you yourself don't know, you're not Krishna conscious. So there's no point of talking about religion. It's all you waste of time. So being Krishna conscious is very essential, Mataji. And
What more
so,
did Prabhupada say?
sorry, Mataji. I cannot hear you, Mataji.
Yeah, there's something more that Prabhupada said here. What did he say?
Yes, Mataji. He's even saying that one who is sincerely engaged in the service, that is the aim of human life, Mataji. That's the goal of having a human body, that you have to understand Krishna and you need to go back to him. You have to follow the rules and regulations, the religion what Krishna has laid down, the principles what Krishna has laid down, and then follow that. And once then you have to go back home. That's the whole idea of having a human body. Why are you getting a human body? Otherwise, again, you will have to get back into that 84 lakh species, birth, death, old age.
There's something
Mataji,
more
you're
that,
breaking.
And
something more that Prabhupada said. Yes, Anupama.
so when somebody engages with love and faith, then Krishna talks with that person and guides the person to come back to him. That is what Prabhupada is writing.
Prabhupada said, what's the use if you don't experience Krishna? If you just, sit and study philosophy, right? And you don't experience Krishna, what's the use? Right? So meaning that all your activities, or all your talk, all your knowledge should bring that, you're having your conversation with Krishna, right? Let's read it again because it slipped our attention. So Krishna says, let's read the whole purport. It's just too important. Brajavasi lokera Krishna sahaja piriti. What is the meaning of sahaja?
Easy.
Naturally, Sahaj, easy.
Easy, okay? Easy for the Brajvasi. You can see that when you go to Vrindavan, isn't it? You see how they deal with the Krishna. How they're talking to Krishna, right? If you haven't seen it, then you can go to Jaipur, right? With Govind Dev Ji. Just see how they're talking, right? So natural. Brajavasi lokera Krishna sahaja piriti. Gopalera sahaja priti Brajavasi prati. The ideal place to execute Krishna consciousness is Brajabhumi or Vrindavan, where the people are naturally inclined to love Krishna and Krishna is naturally inclined to love them. All right? Two is one and two, right? Reciprocation. In Bhagavad Gita 4.11, it is said, Ye yathamam prapadyanti tam sataiva bhajami aham. There is a responsive cooperation between the Supreme Lord Krishna and his devotees. The more a devotee sincerely loves Krishna, the more Krishna reciprocates. So much so that a highly advanced devotee can talk with Krishna face to face. Right? You come to Radha Ras Bihari, or you're not all looking, that is his eyes upon me, right? Right? Krishna confirms this in the Bhagavad Gita 10.10. Tesham satata yuktanam jatam pritipurvakam dadami buddhi yugam tam yenamam upayantite. To those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. See, we are, like we're puzzled. We are reading, we are hearing, but it's not getting in the head, right? Just not getting in the head what I'm supposed to do, how I'm supposed to do. But to those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love. So I don't know how to do, but I've been told I should do this way, so I'm doing it. So to those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. Krishna stopped talking to them. Right? You can't understand how to do, what to do. So Krishna started giving the understanding. And he will just put somebody in the Vyasasana who will say exactly what Krishna wants you to hear, right? Isn't it? It happens all the time. And this poor preacher thought he's the preacher, but actually Krishna is making him speak for you. The actual mission of human life is to understand Krishna and return home back to Godhead. So if I'm a human being, I keep on saying this, if I'm a human being, please don't commit suicide if you're suffering. All right? Because this body is a valuable boat. Right? See, variable both. So it has to be used properly and sincerely, so that when Krishna says, okay, now you can come, then you go. Therefore, one who is sincerely engaged in the service of the Lord with love and faith can talk with Krishna and receive instructions by which he can speedily return home back to Godhead. Today, many scholars defend the science of religion, and they have some conception of the Supreme Person Godhead. But religion without practical experience of the Supreme Person Godhead is no religion at all. So, I'm just writing essays, about God. I'm writing essays about God, but I have no experience of God. Right? So what's the use? Srimad Bhagavatam describes this as a cheating religion. Religion means abiding by the orders of Krishna, the Supreme Person Godhead. If one is not qualified to talk with him and take lessons from him, how can one understand the principles of religion? The talks of religion or religious experience without Krishna consciousness are a useless waste of time. The talks of religion, okay, I just met this girl. So I asked her, what's your qualification? And she didn't want to tell me, And then she told me, I studied philosophy. I said, philosophy? What philosophy? Mataji, I don't remember a single thing of what I studied. I said, oh, what did you learn? Did you study Hinduism at school, in college? Well, Descartes, Socrates. Oh, okay. I said, my God, that, of course, we're dumb, right? Can't make head or tail of the philosophy, right? This is what Prabhupada is talking about. And all those philosophers of Hinduism. So they teach so many stuff, right? But they don't have experience of Krishna. The talks of religion or religious experience without Krishna consciousness are useless waste of time. Now the difference. So she told me she's a student. Well, she graduated she's an MA in philosophy. And so I asked, where did you get your graduation? From Mumbai University. And she was just so ashamed. She didn't even want to talk about it. I said, really? I'm looking for somebody who can do one task for me because I have a project for students of Hinduism, And when I gave it to her and I showed her what it was, she became so happy. She became so happy, she immediately took it up. Why? Because she saw a different angle. So I said, instead of coming and asking you what service can I do in your office for 1-2 hours, I have time. So let me give you something that is in your line, right? Philosophy, but what's the difference and why she was so happy?
Philosophy with Krishna consciousness.
Yes, philosophy with Krishna consciousness. She changed, she bloomed. And she sent me a message, Mataji, thank you very much for this. Then she became like a fish in water in the library, right? Swimming in all those books. So it's her life became worthwhile, after studying philosophy and dumping all the degree, everything, right, in the bin, all useless. So she found some purpose in life. This is exactly what Prabhupada is talking about here. Yes, Amrita Radhe, tell me.
Hi, Krishna Mataji. So, Mataji, my question, I need to clarify my understanding here. So what we learned from this last purport is that we have to learn to invest our love to Krishna, and that we do by rendering unmotivated service for his pleasure, which is under the purview of the Navada Bhakti that we are told of Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam. So when we do that, eventually when Krishna is pleased, and when our desire to reach him becomes intense, then he will also talk to us and help us. Is that correct understanding?
Always talking to us, isn't it? Isn't it? She's always talking to us. That's why we're still there, right? Otherwise, you say, I will say, a God who doesn't reciprocate with you, you say, okay, I think the door is closed here, right? So he has to be talking to us. But it becomes more and more intense, more and more like, because your ears start to hear, your eyes start to see. Two things. So your ear becomes more open. Then you understand the hand of God. You start to see the hand of God everywhere. Everywhere you start to see his hand. So you know that this hand is also towards you, right? It's not only controlling you, everybody controlling, manipulating. No, it's also, his hands are also towards us, right?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And it's very rasa, what we read now, we were all enjoying so much, right? How he was found in the bushes and the trees, right? And in the bushes, he was removed from the bushes, then he was bathed, the throne was made for him, then he was bathed, so many volumes of water and scented oil, etc., right? Then new vastra, right? Then all the Vyanjan came, right? And then he was sleepy. They put, the sweet in his mouth. They put him to rest, and they woke him up again with sweets and water, right? We all enjoyed that. Then he said, this can happen only in Vrindavan.
True.
Right? So then Krishna, so Prabhupada, and no, this is Krishna Ras Kaviraj, right? He's saying this type of love. Vrajavasi Lokera Krishna Sahaj Priti, right? Gopalera Sahaj Priti Vrajavasi Prati. So he says that this is Braj Prem, right? Maybe you go to South India, a lot of things are happening, right, in South Indian temples also. But here, this is 1-to-1, right? 1-to-1. You can't compare Vrindavan to South India. Like somebody sent these videos. Now actually this video like AI made up also. But some idea was given, how they wake up. So I don't know how many hundreds of brahmanas are sitting and chanting this what do you call that?
Suprabhatam.
Suprabhatam?
Bhatam. Suprabhatam. Prabhat.
Prabhat, yeah, So they wake up the deities, and then so many brahmanas are sitting and, singing, waking up the deity and welcome him, etc. So I was thinking, but how does it happen in our temple, our Raras? Then I realized this is our Mangala Aarti, right? Of Mangala Aarti, everybody's running for Mangala Aarti, right? So Krishna just woke up, right? He woke up, give darshan, and here's our Mangala Aarti, meaning everybody is chanting, right? So this is how we are doing we were waking up the deities. So that was great inspiration. Then I started hearing it differently, because after I've compared, the South Indian, Vedic shlokas, right? And then I hear, oh, here's our Guru Vastakam, right? Guru Vastakam and Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Prabhupada has given us everything. So he said 4 o'clock till 10 o'clock, right? So those who are not coming for Mangalati, please come. Don't miss. Now, you know, you're participating. You don't have to be Brahmana, right? To recite the Rig Veda or whatever, Samved, whatever Veda they're reciting now. Prabhupada said, Kulla, Kulla, everybody chant Hare Krishna. So don't miss it next time. All right. Okay, Shashiji, now you go to Govind Dev Ji morning. Can't miss that Mangala Aarti. She's in Jaipur. Can you imagine where she is? Jaipur. She lives in Jaipur.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Best
Yeah.
school.
See, she
Best.
graduated from Mumbai city to Jaipur. She graduated.
Mataji, all Gopinath ji, Radha Madhav ji, Vinodi Lal ji. And this time I discovered Radha Madan Gopal ji of Advait Prabhu, Advait Acharya. They've written the history of Advait Acharya. Vinodi Lal ji, Loknath ji, and Jeev Goswami's Radha Damodar ji. They say all the original deities are in Jaipur.
Yes. Yes. So where
And
she's
Radha
living?
Madhav of Jayadev Goswami.
Yeah. He's in
Big,
Kanaka
huge,
Vrindavan.
beautiful. Correct.
Okay. So you can't miss the Mangalati. This is open for everyone. This is called Priti, Sahaja Priti, Piriti. Sahaja Piriti. Goes to Jaipur. Whoever goes to Jaipur, right, they know we cannot compare the bhakti of the people in Jaipur. Cannot compare, right? Like in unison, like together.
Mataji, there are bhajans of Govind Dev. If you hear them, it is full of rasa. Like, I've come to do your aarti, I'm carrying this, you wear this, you wear your garland, you wear your earrings because I'm coming to see you. It's like that. It is so beautiful. All Govind Dev Ji's bhajans.
Gopinath, all his ladies, all those ladies were sitting in, right? And they're criticizing Krishna.
Did you have got
Hmm?
This time, Mataji, I got lots of water from his charan, Gopinath ji. When I went to visit at 6 o'clock, they do water, shower of water on him. Pour shower of water on him, then take the water from the bottom and sprinkle on the public. I God, Mataji, the way they sprinkle the Goswamis, it's amazing. Lots of water, full bucket, and they sprinkle. That you don't do in Holi also. And the way they put the pressure on the public, it's amazing. Gopinathji, that small Haveli, and beautiful it is. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Okay,
All
so,
must come, Mataji, all must come. Jaipur
so
is beautiful.
yeah, so Jaipur is extension of Braj.
Yes.
Hmm? Extension of Braj. They were protected by the Rajput kings, right? Okay, so we have heard some rasa now. So now we know how to talk to Krishna. All right.
Indradumna Maharaj has put a lot of series, Mataji, how Gopinathji, Govindevji, they came to Jaipur.
Sorry?
Lot of series. Indradumna Maharaj,
Yes, yes.
I
Yeah,
read them, I listened
please.
them.
Yeah,
It's
so please everybody go on his channel, Indradyumna Swami Maharaj channel. He told all the story how every year he takes the devotees to Jaipur. That's why I went with him a few times. All right, so thank you very much. We have to close the rasa now and carry on with our lives. So make sure you are swimming in the rasa.
Yes, Mataji.
Amazing. Jai Shri Krishna. Hare Krishna. Okay. Facebook is not going to get a Facebook.